Have you had dudes before who
Yes.
like they go out on dates and they like overtly try to be flashy?
Yes. I went on this date and I lived like 2 seconds away from the restaurant.
Yeah.
And he drove us to the restaurant that we could have walked to, like across the street, just because he wanted to take me in his Corvette.
A Corvette?
Yeah.
Just like leading with materialism.
Yes. Yeah. But I just feel like when guys are like naming off things that they have or like just listing off, I don't know, there's too flashy. I don't like it.
And this right here is why the stupidest thing that you can do if you want to attract women is try to be flashy or lead with materialism. Listen, anytime you try to lead with external attraction triggers, you're leading with external things. Like, for example, what that means is you're leading with cars, you're leading with houses, you're leading with watches. The problem is this: these are external materialistic high value status metrics, and all that does is it makes her want to test your core. When she wants to test your core, she wants to say, okay, this is what you have on the outside. What's that inside like? Right? What's that core like? Why do you have all this stuff? Why do you need to be flashy? And instantly she starts testing for insecurities. What women really want, what women really crave, and what women are really drawn to is a man with internal high value status, a man who doesn't feel the need to self-qualify, a man who doesn't let the materialistic world rule his sense of value. So when you lead with these things, the problem is she goes, okay, well, is there something wrong with him? Like, is he making up for something? Is there like a lack thereof? And this is why, like rich dudes, or this is why dudes who like have a lot of stuff, they're constantly confused, wondering like, why do women gravitate towards like broke men, right? Or like a dude who might be like a loser. And the truth is that dude is displaying things on a genetic level, because when he communicates, the core of who he is different than how you're portraying yourself. Now, if you want to learn, understand, and master the language of women at an even deeper level, which I advise you to do, so that way I can show you front end game, how to act when you first meet the woman, mid game, how to carry yourself on the first 1 to 3 dates, and then back end game, how to carry out a successful long-term relationship, so that way you actually start to have dating success. Check out what I made for you. It's in my bio, it's in my description. You'll love it. If she left you, she's already getting nailed hard. You have to understand, she's getting nailed good, she's getting nailed hard, and she's not thinking about you at all. You need to stop looking at her story. You need to stop following her. You need to stop thinking of her. She is literally not even looking at you. She's not even thinking of you. In fact, all those noises she's making in the sheets, all those movements she's making in the sheets, all that back and forth talk, pillow talk with him, you think she's even thinking about you? You're sitting there looking at her story. She's got 10 different options. She's banging 2 of them. One of the guys she's already in love with, and you're 6 months deep still looking at her story thinking, I think that this story she posted is about me. You sound softer than baby shit. Look, if a girl pulled away and broke your heart, you have to know that she's getting banged instantly. In fact, I would say that she's even been getting banged behind your back over the past 2 to 4 weeks, until she realized that he is a better option than you, and then you were just completely discarded. This is what you have to know. If you fell in love with a woman, if you've been sleeping with her, and then all of a sudden you just don't hear from her anymore, oh yeah, you better believe she found a better option. She found either a better option for her at this point in her life, or number 2, she found a different guy that she was more attracted to. So any of you guys who are messaging me or direct messaging me saying, hey, how do I win her back? How do I get her back? Listen, you can't. On like a biological level, a natural selection level, a survival of the fittest level, you just weren't it for her. And I know that that sucks. I know that that stings, but there ain't nothing that you can do about it. She's already getting banged. Her emotions are already invested into somebody else. If she pulled away and she broke your heart and you really thought she was the one or something like that, you're going to have to go back out in the world and you got to go fishing again. You got to go fishing. You got to go learn how to talk to him again. You got to go find a new option. You got to find a woman who likes you, loves you, respects you more than she did. I know that that ain't the truth that you want to hear, but that's the truth that needs to sink in, because listen, women are hypergamous, and she's only looking for the best. And that's not good or bad, that just is. And the best for her at different points in her life is subject to change from time to time. That's why it's never very good to like invest all of your emotions and like your entire like emotional well-being into your relationship as a man. Because listen, women go through cycles every 3 to 5 years. She might be interested in different traits in a man as she gets older, because she optimizes for what helps her survival and her future more. She doesn't care about what you want. She only cares about what she wants. And that's just something you have to start to internalize. This is not good or bad. This is just female nature. Female nature is meant to be accepted, not understood. Because if you try to spend so much time understanding it, you're just going to end up, frustrated. Okay, female nature is meant to be accepted. If you want to take this even further so I can show you a full process, check out what I made for you. It's in my bio. It's in my description. I have an end-to-end process that you can use, okay, to start to learn, understand, and master the language of women. So I want you to go and do that. I want you to go and check that out, because I show you what to do through the entire stages of dating. Hey, this is what to do when you first meet the woman. Hey, this is how we operate on the first 1 to 3 dates. Hey, this is how we carry out a successful long-term relationship. I broke this down for you step by step. So just go and take that next step and check that out. If you are dating a woman and on social media she follows any other men besides you, her dad, and her brother, you are in for a serious rude awakening, and here's why. Her social media is essentially a Rolodex of other dudes, a Rolodex of other dudes she would potentially be with, and just guys in general that she finds attractive. These are guys that she might direct message. These are guys who have maybe direct messaged her in the past and she was seeing somebody, but she still keeps him on the followers list just because it's an option for the future if the current relationship that she's with or that she's in fizzles out. All of this is just a very big red flag. Listen to me closely. The only guys who actually tolerate this stuff is weak men. Okay, so like if you're married to a woman and you tolerate all this and you don't say anything about it, even though she knows that it's weird deep down, that you feel inside that, like, she's going to know this is weird. She's going to know something's off. But she sees you put up with it. She sees you tolerate it. She sees that you continue to be exclusively in a relationship with her. This is going to eventually lower attraction. One of the biggest reasons too why women a lot of times cannot actually attract the men that they want is because of the past digital history, which means the only men that are willing to date them or commit to them in the first place is automatically men who are in a mindset of scarcity, because they're constantly making concession after concession after concession, putting up with stuff that they actually find unattractive. What you're going to find is women will constantly have a list of icks, okay, and men have a list too, but we just suppress them. And we suppress them because, fear, scarcity, you think that you're being insecure, okay? Here's the thing. If you're dating a woman and you're in a relationship, let's say, and you two are exclusive, you know damn well in your heart of hearts that if you were to follow a different woman, you know that it's bad or it's wrong or that it looks bad. You know in your heart of hearts this is true, okay? However, when you look at the things that she might say regarding the men that she follows, she might say, oh, don't worry, he's just a friend. Oh, you're just being insecure. Okay, you're going to notice that the dynamic changes in a quick hurry, and a lot of times it's hypocritical to some degree, but the only men who tolerate this in the first place is going to be men who don't have any options. What I am telling you is this: you need to work so hard to get yourself into that top 5 to 10% of men where you're able to say, I don't care, no, this is the way, this is how we're doing it. If not, I'll find a different woman. If you don't have that mindset, good luck. Now, if you want to learn, understand, and master the language of women at an even deeper level, so that way I can actually help you attract the women that you really want to attract and then retain her interest level for the long haul, check out what I made for you. It's in my bio, it's in my description. Men who follow red pill dating concepts are attracting fewer and fewer women, and you're watching this play out. This stuff isn't working. I actually think that long term, over the past 3 to 5 years, the red pill and all those topics in the manosphere was probably a net negative for men, because what I see is guys now have zero social skills, impossible for them to connect with any woman. In social settings, they come off as so cold and robotic, like they're weird, and they try to be some fake stoic whatever, and it just comes across so weird, where they have zero options and they're coming across just mute and robotic. It's completely weird. I'll give you an example. So I posted a video on my story yesterday of me dancing with my girlfriend, and we were dancing two separate to some country music, and the amount of people who would swipe up or say something oh, that's not very masculine, or oh, we lost him, or oh, that's not very stoic, or all this stuff. It's dude, so here I am with a woman in the video having fun and you're wanting to improve your dating life. And this is what I mean, is it's like dudes will argue their beliefs just because they think that they're right, even though they don't have any real world results. So it's like the funniest thing about this is it's like dudes might actually be getting worse socially and worse in their dating life, but because they think that all these concepts sound good on paper, they'll argue and argue and argue to defend their beliefs that are failing them. And it's like there's theory and there's practice. A lot of the concepts you tell yourself sound good in theory, but in practice, in the real world of dating, stuff doesn't play out that way. Walk into any place and try to be some mysterious stone cold James Bond type dude. You're going to realize real quick that it looks cool on the movie with all the dramatic music behind it and the suit and tie, and then you're going to try it in real life and realize that everybody looks at you at the party and no one talks to you, and you left that place talking to no one, meeting to no one, and you look like a weirdo who tried to be fake and mysterious. Listen, I have a whole process to help you learn, understand, and master the language of women, because for most of you who've consumed a lot of dating content, you're probably going to have to go through a period of undoing a lot of your beliefs. Undoing a lot of your beliefs surrounding masculinity and dating that have not held true. So because of that, I have a whole process to help you actually attract the women into your life that you want and retain that relationship. Check out what I made for you. It's in my bio, it's in my description. It will help you, and I know that you'll love it. The main difference between an alpha male and a beta male is this. Listen closely. An alpha male does what he wants because he feels like it. A beta male is sitting there trying to examine left, right, up, and down the correct answer for everything. And that could be his job or his career path. That could be the right thing to say to the girl. That could be anything. But fundamentally, you don't get results with women or in life until you genuinely stop giving a like. You have to stop caring if you have a good outcome, a bad outcome, a positive outcome, a negative outcome, an embarrassing outcome, a non-embarrassing outcome. You have to not care. You have to let go and just let it happen. Whatever happens, happens. And see, that's kind of like the bad boy mindset that women fall in love with, because when she can see that you do what you want, this obviously causes an emotional spike because you're unpredictable, because you don't even know what you're going to do in that moment, because as life is happening, you're adapting to each situation and doing as you want, doing as you feel, and doing as you please. And to her, whether you like it or not, that is sexy overall. All right, this is her number one turn off.
If I can lift more than them.
If you can lift more than them?
Yeah.
Why is that a turn off?
Because why the should a girl lift more than a man? No.
Have you ever dated a guy where he was bigger than you?
Where he's bigger than me?
Where you were bigger than him?
Hell no, because I wouldn't allow that.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Look, this is why when it comes to dating, you have to be in the gym, you have to be building your physique. I understand that every single dude teaching you social skills for the past however many years has told you that that doesn't matter, and that if you just spike her emotions, all of a sudden her emotions will work in your favor. Listen, you have to be building your physique. You have to be building the V-taper physique. You have to be getting physically strong. If you are a man wanting to improve your dating life, you have to remember that the goal is to actually unlock her primal desire. And the only way you can do this is if you look strong, you look lean, and you look like you can actually protect. This is a crucial element that is just like completely overlooked by most guys, okay? Which means you have to have the lifestyle habits on point as well. If you're out every single weekend drinking, if you're eating bad food, if you're skipping workouts, this is going to make your dating life way harder, even if in the short term when you're out, you're having more fun, okay? Long-term thinking versus short-term thinking. Now, if you want to learn, understand, and master the language of women at an even deeper level, so that way I can actually show you my real end-to-end process, there's 3 stages, okay? I'm going to show you front-end game, how to act and what to do when you first meet the woman. Then I'm going to show you mid-game or middle game, which is how to act on the first 1 to 3 dates. And then I'm going to teach you back-end game, which is how to carry out a successful long-term relationship. This entire system, okay, encompasses everything that I teach inside of the language of women. If you check out what I made for you, it's in my bio, it's in my description. I want you to go and see that process. You'll love it. One of the most important pieces to attract women is crafting or honing a unique masculine archetype. Let me explain, because most modern men do not do this. The reason why women are drawn to fantasy romance novels is because the man is a unique character. Okay, so if you just look at this at a very base level, it would look something like this. Rapper, cowboy, artist, musician, professional athlete, surgeon, billionaire, doctor, whatever you want to call it, the man is something. And a lot of times, in some way, career almost forges with that man's identity. This right here adds an element or a factor of uniqueness. Now, the key to this is integrating this into every part of your being. How you walk, how you talk, how you act, who you are, your sense of style, your sense of fashion, everything kind of gets merged into one. So when you walk through this world, you look like a unique character, okay? You draw a certain amount of attention to yourself. Despite being a man, you still understand how to attract attention the right way, okay, which actually elevates your status and your popularity in her eyes. If you don't do this, you're going to end up looking like every other dude, because 9 times out of 10, if you go to a nice bar or you go to a nice venue, you're going to see every dude wearing the same stuff. A lot of times it's black pants and a button-up shirt, and even if that dude is attractive, every single person looks the same. And the problem with that is she's not actually able to get a sense of popularity or status. And a lot of times what also happens is this: even if you're considered a hot guy, she can essentially replace you, okay? Because women are drawn to the character, the archetype, the status, the popularity, and that man's sense of self. So if you can start to actually learn this, if you can actually start to integrate this into your dating life, and it might take a couple weeks to figure this out for yourself, you will start to have way more success. Now, to learn, understand, and master the language of women at an even deeper level, check out what I made for you. It's in my bio, it's in my description. I have a full process that you can just copy paste into your dating life and go. So go and use it. The reason why you don't approach her is because you don't actually love God, and this is what I mean. If you actually loved God, you would love life, okay? Because God is the creator of all life, which means you would think that your life has more value, which means you'd actually be doing more to get more out of life. So what does that mean? That means as a human being, as a man, the markers of success would be if you can survive and if you can replicate. Okay, I'll say that again: if you can survive and if you can replicate. So every single day, okay, another day that goes by where your spirit dies a little bit more inside because you don't do that approach. You don't do what's required. You don't re-optimize your dating profile. You don't re-optimize your pictures. You don't re-optimize the opening line that you're going to say, even if it's just a simple hello. If you're not doing anything, if you're not pressing forward, you are literally becoming passive. That is the opposite of being a masculine man. If you loved God, you would love life. And if you love life, you start to realize it's your job, it's your duty as a man to survive and replicate. Survival and replication. That is the entire goal of being a human being. If you want to learn, understand, and master the language of women, check out what I made for you. It's in my bio, it's in my description. You'll love it. I have an end-to-end process to actually help you finally have the dating life that you've always wanted. Women with strong fathers can still be attracted to complete pieces of... I don't know where this narrative is being formed that based on how her dad is, this dictates her attraction level. Like, I'm sorry, but no matter how my mom treated me through the years, whether it be good or bad, no matter how your mom treated you through the years, whether it be good or bad, is that going to affect your attraction level? That woman with an amazing, beautiful hourglass figure, whether your mom was mean to you or good to you or a good mom or whatnot, isn't going to change how you view her when it comes to attractiveness. The cold reality for a lot of men is that women, overall, most of the time, are attracted to narcissists, players, liars, cheaters, dudes without a future. This is just what they're drawn to. And just because she has a strong father or a stable father, that doesn't mean anything. It's not like all of a sudden she's going to wake up and go, you know, all of a sudden that guy who I know, he's just not attractive anymore. That is not how this works. If you're finally ready to see through the BS and you're ready to learn, understand, and master the language of women, check out what I made for you. It's in my bio, it's in my description. I'm going to show you an end-to-end process to finally get some real dating results.